Back in the day, TikTok was a very simple place, full of teenagers dancing, Bella Porch making faces, or cats. But I started to realise that there was a darker side to TikTok, a side that no one was talking about.
Live it, love it, enlarge it, got a hot chocky wocky in the mix.
Under one video there was this comment, I'm 12 years old and what is this?
I've been on this tight rope between sanity and falling off the deep end.
They call themselves the darkest reaches of the internet, and they're not wrong.
And I know some of my morals might not be your morals. That's the way the world works.
I'm Alizee, and yes, that is my legal name. I'm a YouTuber, so I upload, vlogs of me going to the garden centre, living on £1 a day video challenges, and Minecraft commentary content. Until yesterday, I had no idea who Paul Breach was. I'd never seen him before in my life. But I randomly received this threatening message from him, and it prompted me to investigate him further.
So, when I go to a park with people I know, you think it's okay to take a picture of me. It's you trying to get some weird social media fame and clout. So we didn't have this conversation. No offence, it's not me. If I have to talk to the police, then I will. Step over boundaries of decency. Make your mind up, mate, because you're going to be even more sad and pathetic. Enjoy your weird 5 seconds of Instagram and TikTok and everything else fame. Good morning and hi.
Strange, right? I mean, I don't even know how our paths crossed. I'm on YouTube, he's on YouTube Kids. But I couldn't let this slide, so I put a team together, and I want to work out who is Paul Breach exactly? What does he want from us? And more importantly, what does he want from me? The earliest known sighting of Paul was back in the early 2000s, where he created a profile on a now defunct website known as Face Party. Paul had a profile under the name BreachyBoy01. We acquired this evidence. Viewer discretion is advised. The following content is shocking. Hey, I guess you want to know about me, I'm a 26-year-old guy who lives in Lincoln. I love to be hugged and I love to have fun. I'm an honest, caring sort of person who likes to generally make other people happy. I'm a big believer in fate and things happening for a reason, even down to mundane, silly things. I have a lot of friends, mostly female, lol. I get bored of what guys talk about, and plus, girls are more lovely to look at and be around. Lol. My best friend, though, is male, bless him, Marcus, and he's like a brother to me. You're a good lad, dude. I'm on here to find some new friends because you can never have too many friends. Oh yeah, and Kaylee, you're Sue, my yummiest friend, honey. Love our nights out, mwah. Love the way we flirt, babes. You've cheered me up so much.
I mean, it's just the ramblings of a lunatic, isn't it? I shouldn't say that, but it is. My name is Dr. Jane Shending. I'm a psychoanalyst with the University of Plymouth. I've worked for Bedford Lunatic Asylum and Holloway Sanatorium, and most recently BetterHelp.
So this profile that you've just read, what do you think of it?
Well, it's over 20 years old, which shows that this man plans crazily far ahead. But let's take a look at what he's actually trying to tell his audience here. One, that he's a nice guy, right? He's really trying to hammer that home. And two, that he wants fame. And he's going to stop at nothing to get that. And of course, he's also an Aquarius, and you can't trust them. Air signs far too easy breezy.
After Face Party, the trail goes cold. Paul disappears underground for several years, like Saddam Hussein, before resurfacing on the social media app TikTok, unlike Saddam Hussein. And it's there where the story gets interesting.
Who's Rage? Who? Who's Rage? Who?
You can see the moment where he tries to cover it up. He blows a raspberry, a simple juvenile act that kids do. And he thinks that that will fool his audience. But that's what narcissists believe. They believe that they're the smartest person in the room and that he can fool everyone. And the almost reflexive action of him doing it shows that he's done it before. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that he will 100% do it again if we do not stop him.
Though our picture of Paul was becoming clearer, it was still blurry. Like when you look out of a window and notice that the window is blurry. I needed to go even deeper. Deeper than blurry windows, deeper than deep dish Chicago town pizza. I needed to infiltrate enemy lines and speak to someone who wasn't put off by Paul's many quirks. Someone who liked him. Someone like this bloke here.
Do you remember? Before the Euros there was a footballer that nobody knows. Then there was the World Cup and he scores his goal. His name is Jack Grealish. His name is Jack Grealish. He wasn't even that good looking.
Wait, like, yeah, down, yeah, about there.
Ooh, one-hander.
Saul, before we start, would you like a drink?
Hell yeah. I brought my own mug.
Oh, that's handy. Oh, Christ.
Make it hot chocky wocky. Hi, yeah, my name is Saul, like Paul, but with an S. And my last name's Peach, like the emoji. You know, I've been following Paul for a few years now. When I first joined TikTok, he was one of the first TikTokers I found. He was doing this dance to some song about grass, and I was hooked. We've been together ever since. You know, he ticks, I talk. He makes the content, I support the content. He hasn't actually answered any of my comments, but like, I like to think I'm right there with him.
How old are you?
27.
Alright, forgive me for overstepping, but you don't exactly seem to be Paul's target demographic.
It's 2023, sweetie. Age is just a number.
Oh, there's a plane crash in Tanzania. God, I read the news about a fucking Tanzanian plane crash and read it and go, oh my God, and then carry on with my life instead of mourning people I don't know for like 12 hours. I've got to then go, oh, stop a minute. We'll do the right amount of time. Otherwise, it will be used against me. It's like the weirdest bullshit that I have to just, right, hold on. Somebody died in Alabama. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Just bear with me. And that's just about time. Fuck it.
He can't keep a straight face for more than a sentence, and he ends up dancing about a plane crash. Maybe this is an attempt to get mainstream media to notice his TikToks. Maybe he'll get a job at the BBC, and that will finally legitimise him. I mean, they hid Jimmy Savile for years, so why not Paul, right?
So what do you like about Paul?
Lol, what is there not to like about Paul? His integrity, his passion, he's got the X factor, he's the full package.
As you follow Paul for a while, can you give us some insight into his very public relationships?
Well, do you know what women are like?
What does that mean? What are women like?
Well, you know, scientifically, their women brains are less developed, you know, they've got, you know, less emotions, right? And so it's not a bad thing, really. It just means they're more irrational. So you can't really argue with the science.
Yeah, I guess I can't really argue with that.
So, you know her. You know her. You know her. You'd literally be amazed how many people jump back into my life. You'd be fucking amazed. I am still disgusting and vile, but I always leave a door open to say hello. Yeah. Maya, hi, Freya, hi. Julia, hi. I'll tell you that, I'm wind up. I have a proper wind up merchant of a smile. That's just a little pep talk for me.
So here we're witnessing a clear escalation in his erratic behaviour. My first inclination is to think that he knows that those comments he's replying to aren't actually there. He's just playing along, he's trying to be funny, but there is a real part of me that he thinks they're real. His desperate need for attention is making him hallucinate these.
We had enlisted the help of an expert, but we were still no closer to finding out who exactly Paul is. What does he want? And how can we stop him? We needed to go even deeper. It wasn't good enough to just analyse Paul from afar. We needed to find someone who had had a real-life interaction with Paul himself. And we found that someone.
Well, it was a day like any other, really. I was busy doing my rounds. There was a new flavour of Walker's Crisps that had just come out. I was looking forward to getting that from the corner shop for my lunch, but what I saw that day, it put me off my lunch. And crisps. Ever since that day, I can't even look at Gary Lineker's face without being a little bit sick in my mouth. Black pudding, that was the flavour. And ever since then, every full English that I see, it just reminds me of that day, and all I can taste is shame. So that morning, I was busy putting the bins back in front of the houses. I'm a waste disposal service worker by trade, but a bird watcher by heart, and I realised that there were no birds chirping in the area at all. It was eerily quiet. It was like Pripyat after Chernobyl. And then I felt this strange chill in the air, and it went down my spine, and all the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I felt like I was being watched. So as I brought this bin back to its home, I caught something in my peripheral vision, and I looked up, and there he was. Dancing alone in his bathroom to a camera. It was so horrible. It was No, I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sorry. I've got to go. I'm sorry.
Open the door.
It was a very harrowing experience for me.
I know. And do you know what? It's okay. If you don't want to go back in there, it's totally fine and understand. But you are safe here. You are safe here.
I am safe.
Yes, we have CCTV cameras. We have security in the district. You're absolutely safe. You're fine. But I understand what you've been through. It was harrowing. I understand if you can't continue. There's no pressure.
I want people to know. People have a right to know what he was like.
Yeah, they do. So you'll be doing it in the interest of the public. If you think of it that way, well, you're going to be okay.
I think I can do this. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that earlier. It's just tough. Everything changed after that day. I mean, I can't have looked at him for more than a second, but he stopped, and he noticed me, and he looked directly at me. My body just turned to ice, but my bones, they just liquefied inside me, so my body was just this icy, dripping mess. And we locked eyes for a moment, and then I ran. It was just pure instinct. I ran, and I didn't notice that I still had hold of his bin until I was at the end of the road.
Do you still have it, the bin?
Yeah, I can't get rid of it. Council won't collect it, because apparently it's not in their jurisdiction, whatever that means, and I can't put it in my bin, because that would be mental, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be like a Russian doll, but of bins, and you can't do that anymore, because it's illegal. After the great bin implosion of 1973, it was a terrible time, and we lost an awful lot of good bin men that day. Sorry, bin people. So it's just out on the front lawn, staring at me whilst I'm washing the car. And then teens found out about it on TikTok, so they keep coming by my house to take selfies with it, which means that the neighbourhood watch are on at me, giving me grief about that. And I just want to sell my house. Get away. Start afresh. Move on with my life. Forget all of the bad memories. But I can't, can I? Because of the bin. The bin, it's affecting the resale value of my property. So I can't just move on with my life, can I? Because of this fucking bin. Sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I don't know what I meant to do. I wish I'd never taken that shift. I wish I'd swapped with Gary, you know, and gone bird watching.
Okay, so the mysterious man behind the door, right? There's speculation that this is his dad trying to get into the bathroom, busting for a piss, but I think there's more to it than that. So according to Freudian psychoanalytic theory, the human psyche has 3 parts: the id, the ego, and the superego. I think Paul is the id. He's primitive, he's not really thinking, and the father trying to break down the door represents the ego, right? He's the reality of the situation, battering down that door and trying to get to him, right? He's reality. But the most interesting thing that we see here is that there's an almost complete lack of superego. His moral compass doesn't exist.
So, do you think that's what's going on here? It's a physical manifestation of Paul's internal psyche?
Yes, or his dad could actually just need a piss.
Paul has often been accused of making sock puppet accounts to defend himself with. What do you think of that?
That is absolute bull. I run most of those accounts myself.
Paul has been criticised for trying to meet up with teenagers, and recently he did meet up with a 19-year-old at a hotel for a photo shoot. What do you think of that?
You know what? Who doesn't like photos on an iPhone 5? That's what I say. Everyone shoots on their phones, and if Paul's behind those photos, it should have been me.
What?
You know, it could have been me. He could have been looking at me. Have you ever had anyone, like, look inside you? He could have been looking at me. You know, we could have shut the doors, cast the whole dirty day away, and, you know, stripped ourselves down to our very souls, naked. You know, when the stars shine, we shine too.
Okay. By Paul's own admission, when working in social care with vulnerable patients, he used to cuddle them, give them cheek kisses. What do you think about that?
Lucky shits.
By being spotted in all these different parts of the country, he's almost turning himself into a living legend, a myth, a part of British folklore. Citing him is like seeing Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. What he's doing is clever, actually. It's calculated. People are actively now on the hunt to spot him. He's become a legend. He's a genius.
Who do you think he's on the phone to?
An educated guess? Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, he's still alive, you know.
Right.
I don't understand why everyone is hating on this man. You know, once you turn 18, you're an adult. You're allowed to make your own decisions and you're legal.
So, to conclude, what's your assessment of Paul?
I diagnose him with narcissistic personality disorder straight away, easily, no doubt about that. However, I might look into some variation of Benjamin Button syndrome. Now, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm technically not allowed to interact with patients anymore.
Wait, what?
But Benjamin Button syndrome is a rare genetic condition that causes the body to age rapidly. There's a case to be made that Paul isn't actually a grown adult. He might look like he's in his late 40s, but his behaviour indicates that he's really 8 years old. I think he's a child in a grown man's body, which technically makes him the real victim of these women he's been talking to.
He should just keep doing what he's doing. You know, he's just being his best self. These sad acts have got to learn a little bit of respect.
That's all from us. Thank you so much for your time today.
What's this documentary about again? Is that Saddam?
Looking back, I'm not convinced that this wasn't just Paul himself, but in really good perspectives.
We interrupt regular programming to bring you a message from Her Majesty's government. Please stand by and await further information.
Are you concerned by everything you've seen so far? Are you worrying about how to better protect your internet privacy from the likes of Paul? Then make sure you use ExpressVPN to hide your internet data from hackers, spyware, and men from TikTok. Make sure you use my special affiliate link at www.expressvpn.com/Alizee and get 3 months extra free when purchasing a 12-month plan using my link. Links in the description box below. Back to the broadcast.
Thanks to cutting-edge GPS technology, you can now keep up to date with where Paul has been or where Paul currently is. Using this data, my team estimates that Paul will have completed visiting every town in the UK by the end of this sentence. We need to find Paul and catch him before time runs out. To aid us in our investigation, we have enlisted the help of an internet detective. We have hired one Burlock Holmes from Wish. Burlock will help us find out exactly where Paul is. So, Burlock, this is what we know so far. Now, it would seem to me that Paul likes bathrooms. And if you look at this one here, it also appears to me that Paul lives in some type of house, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I don't think you're too far off the mark.
Okay.
So, looking at this one here, we can see that this door frame clearly hand carved.
Clearly, yeah.
And therefore probably only available in a certain number of locations. I decided to go onto a door frame forum, and they verified for me that this is indeed hand carved and can only be found within Europe. Where is it down?
Yeah,
Where is it down? So I then looked at this TikTok here that he uploaded at around about 6:40 p.m. on the 28th of February 2022. From the light in the photo, we can clearly see that it's dusk.
Clearly, yeah.
So, given that the sunlight, we can automatically cross off the Antarctic. He's not there.
I had a suspicion.
So he's not in the Antarctic. But given the sunlight, the month that this is taken in, and the fact that it's dusk, I think, and with some degree of certainty, that Paul is within England.
Interesting.
So, got this, but then we go back to this one here. The wall paint. Very, very clearly in a shade of what is known as ostrich eggshell.
Heard of it.
It's very well known. However, you can only find it in a certain number of B&Qs, and those B&Qs are all based in the north of England. So, given all of the information here that we can see, I have been able to very accurately triangulate Paul's location to these coordinates here, which I can give to you now for a small fee.
You're joking.
I never joke.
Fine. Take it.
Well, the whole card.
Just take it.
Okay.
Coordinates.
There you go.
Thank you. There's no money on it anyway.
What?
Well, that was a waste of time. It was back to the drawing board for us until we received a tip-off on Paul's location from an anonymous account, a good Samaritan, who was in no way suspicious. We left London to venture to lands unknown. To a Londoner, anything past Hampstead Heath is considered the north of England, so we were in for a culture shock. We were strangers in a strange land, so we took our passports, just in case. To pass the time on our long journey, I did some more research on Paul and his habits. It was hard, vomit-inducing work, so I had to take frequent breaks to recuperate.
Arriving into Norwich when this train completes its journey, please remember to take all of your luggage and personal belongings with you when you leave the train.
See it, say it, sort it.
I'm here in the city of Norwich where Paul was last spotted. If we move fast enough, we might be able to catch him.
Our first stop in this brave new world was at some sort of building called Primark, a hidden gem which the locals of Norwich flock to buy the latest fashionable clothes. As a Londoner, it was adorable to see the rest of England catching up with trends. They really do try their hardest. We headed to the kids' clothes section, but Paul was nowhere to be seen.
No, nothing. Wait, look at this. He's close. Someone over there too. Come here, come. He's nearby. Look at that. Hey, come here. Yeah, he's close. It's definitely him.
We tried to check the local hotels, but got told to piss off because our kind wasn't welcome there. Though we had found one clue, the trail went cold again, so I visited this play park to try to get into the mindset of Paul. If I could think like Paul, maybe I could catch him.
No way.
Oh my god. No way.
No fucking way. Come on, let's go get him. Come on, come on, come on. Hey!
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I thought that you were someone else. I thought that you were...
Paul Breach.
Yeah.
You thought I was Paul Breach?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. My girlfriend's 28 and George Ezra is shit.
So sorry, it was just a misunderstanding. Could happen to anyone. Miscommunication.
I'm sick of this.
I'm sorry.
Every single day I get this. I'm calling the police,
No, it was
Bubs.
a misunderstanding. It could happen to anyone. I'm very sorry.
Hi.
Come on, come on, come on.
And so my journey comes to an end, none of us any wiser for it. All it earned me was a restraining order from Jack Dean and the great city of Norwich. Maybe some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. Maybe Paul will forever remain an enigma. But maybe, just maybe, ultimately, it's all our fault. It's all our fault for giving men like Paul the attention in the first place. Everyone knows that if you stop giving bad people attention, they just miraculously change their minds and leave of their own accord. And what about you, viewer? Are you complicit too?
Is the existence of Paul Breach entirely your fault? Yes. Yes, it is.
So is that narration or that
That's the cameras.
So can we one more take again?
Killing me. Killing me. I'm giving it my all. Now, what do you think about that video that Paul did with Jack?
Jack Grealish! Do you remember? Before the Euros, there was a footballer that nobody knows. His name was Jack. I fucked it. Yeah, I fucked it. Is that Saddam? Get this mic the hell out of here! Get that!
But there's also a real part of me that thinks that he's hallucinating these comments, and his desperate need for attention is what's making that happen. No matter.
The veins started coming out of the fucking
Time to suck in the double chin like this.
You thought I was Paul Breach?
Yeah, it's understandable.
Well, I'm not. Oh, fuck.
No worries.
I'm 28.
I'm laughing because I'm just imagining you falling over. Hold on.
Bastard.
Give me a moment. It's just... Sorry, it's so stupid.